Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Legacy. My name's Noah Mitchell, and I'm the Senior Learning Experience Designer here at Legacy FM. And today, I want to talk briefly about the power of storytelling. Really, I just want to get into the power and the effect that storytelling has on statistics and data. As human beings, we seem to be really captivated by stories. Even people who say they don't like stories probably spend a fair amount of time binging movies and TV shows on Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, or whatever your streaming services desires are, right? And so it just seems that in a story, we as humans seem to be more receptive to it. We pull more from it. And it's because of the emotional connection that we can have to a story, because it takes something and puts it in the context of real life. And I would even argue that reality itself, what is it other than a story or a narrative constantly playing itself out? So we're just really, really engaged with a story. The way that I like to think about it too is our ancestors huddled around the fire. Let's say after a hard day's work, they've made the fire, embers are flowing up into the air, they're cooking the day's catch, and you've got some of the elders passing down the history and the traditions of these peoples to the next generation. And I think that's part of it. I think that's part of why we're so engaged with stories is because we're hardwired not only to tell them, but to receive them. Before the invention of writing, that's how we passed ideas down. That's how we got to where we are. The history, the traditions, the oral tradition. That's how we disseminated ideas. And so today, we see that as this reception to stories. And that's why people like me in learning and development, we really like to use stories when appropriate to help people have a more meaningful and engaging learning experience. Now, when it comes to statistics and data, that's where we kind of fall short. Usually, on average, people looking at a publication of statistics or some sort of data, it doesn't really have the same effect on us. It doesn't really emotionally engage us, and so we really could not care any less. However, when you put that's the statistics and data in the context of a story, things change. So let me give you an example really quickly. The PBS.org, rather, they say that the chances of dying in a plane crash are somewhere in the ballpark of 1 in 11 million. That's really, really low. And so obviously as a human being, since I'm already not like receptive to statistics and data, that one I'm definitely not going to bat an eye at. However, let's say that around the time that I'm about to fly to, let's say Costa Rica or something, I see something on the news about a plane that just went down and heaven forbid people died from it. And so on the news, as you know, they're going to craft a story. They're really going to get at the heart of the emotion, the gripping part of that, and share that with the masses. Once I see that, because I've been emotionally engaged in it, and it's been put inside of a story, chances of me buying that plane ticket become significantly more likely. And we see that borne out in the data that when there are, plane crash, let's say one plane crash for several months, you see a notable drop in the amount of tickets being sold by major airlines. And so that's just the way it is. Because we're humans. And when you tell a story, whether that story is true or false, it affects us at the deepest part of our being. And so that's really all I've got for you today. If you have statistics and data, if you're trying to convey something in a meeting, let's say, why don't you try and think about, okay, but what does the data really say? How can I tell a story with the data as opposed to just throwing it out there and hoping something sticks? Because trust me, in learning and development, it seems to work better with a story. So go out there and write your own story. I'll see you next time. It's been a pleasure talking to you today. Take care.